Time is running out to get your Bitcoin stacking goal achieved and turn it from a dream to a reality. I don't care if you have 100 Bitcoin or 1/100th of a Bitcoin, whatever goal you have, you are running out of time to achieve. Why do I say that? It's because you have less in common with the near future than the ancient past. The majority of supply squeeze for Bitcoin is in front of us and not behind us. And the majority of users are in front of us, not behind us. And when you have those two trends colliding together, you get hyperbolic Bitcoin price action, right? That is what is going to happen. Why? Because about 0.2% of the world's population is into Bitcoin. Again, remember, 1% of the world is 85 million people, 83, 85 million people roughly, about 600 million adults. That's 60 million adults. That's 1%. Right? People say, oh, Bitcoin's at 1% adoption. Oh, I'm so late to Bitcoin. Oh, I wish I got in before it was 1% adoption. No. Do you really think there are 60 million people in Bitcoin right now? 60 million people are buying Bitcoin in size right now. Do you really believe that? No. No freaking way. Michael Saylor doesn't even have a tenth of those number of followers on Twitter, right? All the little Bitcoin YouTube channels are lucky to have 1,000, 10,000, maybe 100,000 subscribers or followers, right? It's like, no way there's 60 million people buying Bitcoin in size, right? I do believe there are less than 21 million people in Bitcoin though, right? And my point is we are at the very tail end of Bitcoin's roughly 2-decade trend of having more Bitcoins than Bitcoiners. In the first epoch of Bitcoin's history, there were 10.5 million Bitcoin issued to the network in the first 4 years. There are way more Bitcoins than Bitcoiners in that first epoch. The same thing is true in the following epoch, and I believe the same thing is true today. And the moment that there are more than 21 million people using Bitcoin as a unit of account, that is the precise moment that everything changes, and all of a sudden, there are more Bitcoiners than Bitcoins. Bitcoin went from 6 cents to over $100,000 with having more than one whole coin available for every single person pursuing Bitcoin. And people are here to tell me that Bitcoin at $10 million is a pipe dream. No, it absolutely is not, okay? A subset of 1% of the world's population is sitting on 95% of the world. Way less than 1% of the world's adults own way more than 90% of all the Bitcoins out there. Everybody in Bitcoin right now, we own the majority of the network. Now, this is not going to be some sort of new elite class, right? The same thing is going to trend down and down and down forever. The more wealthy a civilization is, the greater the wealth inequality. There's a difference between wealth inequality harvested via immoral means and via means of productivity and free market dynamics, right? Bitcoin's ultimate free market, wealth inequality will be way greater, right? Probably the remaining 95% of the 5% of Bitcoin remaining is probably going to be bought up by the next couple percent of the world's population, right? And most people right now in Bitcoin are complaining, Luke, why hasn't Bitcoin hit $500,000 yet? Why hasn't it hit $1 million yet? When do we get that Omega candle taking us to Valhalla and the moon or Mars or whatever, right? Be patient. Be patient and zoom out. Look at the chart. What you see here on the y-axis is the price of Bitcoin in terms of US dollars. What you see on the x-axis is the date. And what you'll see in orange is the amount of circulating Bitcoin supply, and you'll see the price in white. And what you'll see is that the curve for supply is flattening out greatly. And a lot of people would say, oh, Bitcoin diminishing returns, price is going to even out or whatever, right? As the Bitcoin approaches, 20 million. Like, that's not going to be the case, right? 99.8% of the world's population is going to be competing for 5% of the Bitcoin network to be distributed over the course of the next century. Now, of course, they're going to compete for the other 95%, but the only way they can compete is by bidding the price up. And so if you're one of these people that's complaining about Bitcoin's price is not going up fast enough to satisfy my dopamine addiction, if you're one of those people, you are a goldfish desperately trying to, scratch an itch that you're never going to scratch. Bitcoin could double and you would still be whining and complaining, right? You're just like the MicroStrategy bears. MicroStrategy's up like 150% over the last year and people are still complaining it's not up enough. Like, come on, people. Like, you can't go up literally all the time, right? The other 99.8% of the world, not yet in Bitcoin, are going to chase after 5% of the world, right? My encouragement is to be quiet, sit still, act grateful, and wait. This is a gift. This is a gift. A gift for what? A gift for stacking more Bitcoin. If you want to have a conversation with how to increase your Bitcoin stack, I'm more than happy to help. Now, obviously, most of you watching this video are not going to take me up on this call to action. That's fine. I don't care. I don't really want to talk to you anyway because you're probably a zero-sum minded person that wouldn't even be able to take advantage of the opportunity cost in front of you. But if you're somebody that does not have a zero-sum mindset and you believe that there can be a win-win, let's have a discussion about how to help you increase your Bitcoin stack. Why? Because guess what? Of the thousands of people that are following me online here, the vast majority of them aren't reaching out to me. Sure, a few hundred are, but that's a very small percentage, right? As the number of followers to the channel grow, as more and more of you like and subscribe to this video, wink, wink, as that continues to grow, probably what's going to happen is that more and more people are going to hear this message. The other 99.8% of the world are going to figure out Bitcoin. They're going to come into Bitcoin, and guess what? Numbers going to go up, and your opportunity cost will have been lost. This is your chance to buy Bitcoin on the cheap. The number one mistake you can make in Bitcoin is not getting off zero. The second largest mistake you can make, which is almost as large, is not increasing your position in size. If you bought Bitcoin at $10, your number one mistake was that you didn't buy as much as you could have when it was $100, right? And likewise, this is the number one thing I hear from people, is that once they get off zero, they regret that they didn't take advantage of all the opportunities in front of you. There are probably things you know about, ways to help you increase your Bitcoin stack. However, I'm telling you, there are almost certainly ways you don't yet know about yet that will help you get even more Bitcoin. This is my job, to help my clients stay 2 to 4 years ahead of the market. Products are offered to my clients and the whole collective of clients at the Bitcoin Advisor, offering them products before they reach the public market. Why? Because the companies of these products want to give people with significant Bitcoin stacks that have significant heightened security, that have a long-term time preference, right? They want to have vetted people use their products first so that, they can gauge if the product is actually useful or not, right? So my point here is that if you want to be somebody on the cutting edge of what products are available and what concepts are there to help you increase your Bitcoin stack, I'm more than happy to help. Sure, maybe I can't help you increase your stack. However, my average over the last 12 months has been about 70%. And this is true for people with hundreds of Bitcoin and true for people with one Bitcoin, right? And everything in between. I don't care if you have less than a Bitcoin. I don't care if you have hundreds of Bitcoin. Let's have a conversation about how to help you increase your stack. And if you don't like me talking about my self-promotional materials here, that's fine. Figure it out on your own, okay? Do it on your own. If you think you can do better than me, that's fine. I'm not better than you, right? I mean, the only thing that's different between me and you is that literally this is my life. This is what I do. I live in these YouTube videos. I listen to all these podcasts. I meet people all the time. I meet a couple dozen people, probably at least a dozen people a week, more or less, is, having these conversations, meeting with these people, helping people obsess over how to increase your Bitcoin stack, because this is what I've obsessed on for years. So if you want to have a conversation, great, fine. If you want to do it on your own, great, fine. I literally don't care, because even if all of you wanted to book a call with me, 95% of you couldn't. And so that's genuinely fine. I don't want your business if you're somebody that's a zero-sum minded person. That's just frustrating. It's a time suck for both of us. So the point is, no matter who you are, no matter what your perspective is, no matter how much Bitcoin you have, take advantage of the present moment. Spend less time complaining about the Bitcoin price volatility of the current moment and focus. You're probably buying Bitcoin in the 5 figures. You're probably buying Bitcoin in you are buying Bitcoin now in the 6 figures. Double down, lock in, get what you can, because at some point it's going to be the 6 figures. It's going to be $1 million, $10 million a coin, and it will not go back to this current price point. Understand, you are a very rarefied air of a tiny percentage of the world population, my friend. And the majority of the Bitcoins are just sitting out there ready to buy. There are more Bitcoins than Bitcoiners right now. For every single view on this video, that's one Bitcoiner. And there is at least one Bitcoin just sitting out there for every single person in the network right now. But eventually there will be more than 21 million people in the network competing for the remaining coins left. And eventually there'll be billions of people competing for your hundreds of thousands of coins left on the open market, left being traded, right? So please get more Bitcoin, maximize that opportunity cost. If you want to maximize that opportunity cost for you because you're a serious person, feel free to book a call with me. We can have a serious discussion about how to help you increase your stack. If you're somebody that just wants to stay tuned with future content and bullish hopium and the human case for Bitcoin and everything else I do in my endless case of promoting Bitcoin, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for your time, and ultimately, don't squander this opportunity. You're in the right place. You're in the right time. The worst possible thing you could do is be so busy gathering information and watching more YouTube videos that you don't take action and actually execute on these plans that you're fantasizing about in your head. So, thanks for liking and subscribing and sharing this video with others. I'll see you next time.